All right. Hello, everyone. Let's see. I think we are live. I think we are live. Thank you so much. If you can hear me, I'm looking at. It's been a while since we did this live webinar, so could you guys go ahead and tell me if you're hearing me? If you can hear me, could you just let me know in the chat area? Okay. Oh yes, so Rick is hearing me. Thank you. I am not hearing anybody else, but since this is just a webinar, it should be fine. It looks like my camera is messing up too. I think there's a delay there. I do apologize for that. Let me go ahead and quickly see if I can switch this over. Okay. All right, so that should be better. Let us begin. Ellie, are you able to share your screen?
Yes, I should be able to.
If you can open up Canva for me. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Again, it's been a while since I did this, but thank you, and I promise you it's going to be worth it. I'm going to dive straight into everything right now. Thank you, Ellie. There we go. So we have Ellie this morning with us, and we're excited to start going through this. So let's actually go to this. So Fluid Ministry has always been my company, LLC, and the products that we currently are focused on is Display.Church, CCBChimp, ChurchBee, and Confirmed.church. All right, next slide. And this is actually just a quick story. So for the last 1.5 years, some of you guys know one of the main products that I worked on was Pastor's Line. And these are some old pictures. You can see my family in the top right-hand corner. And God had, at that time, suggested that I really focus on myself. And I think it was in the best interest of, good morning, Blaine McKinney, thank you for joining, focused on some things. And it was very hard to give up something that you work and you toil so hard on. I remember I borrowed a $4,000 loan from my wife for 401k almost 10 years ago. And after I got rebaptized, I was really convinced that the technology and the gospel was going to be merged. When the Bible says the gospel will go out to and fro throughout the world, we can see in history that the gospel has spread, due to technology. Things have changed. You remember Jefferson? A lot of what was predicted has come true, but it has actually come through for God's will. So Pastor's Line is no longer a product of Fluid Ministry, but I'm so happy for the journey there. But I want to talk about, next slide, what has transpired over the 1.5 years since I sold that business. God had really forced me to focus more on myself, my health, my family, my marriage, my kids. And I'm so much happier for it. And sometimes God has to pull you back to move you forward. And that's my hope. I have started preaching more. I'm way more active physically. I've motivated men, brothers, to join me on my weight loss journey, and they have lost weight. In the month of January, we have lost 93 pounds. Those guys were really killing it. In February, we had a minimum goal and we all hit it. So I see where God is moving me. And why is this important to you? This is important to you because if God has given me leadership over this company, I need to be as close as possible to God for it to be blessed. Not only the company, but what we can do for you. And the more mentally clear I am, the more at peace I am at home, is the more blessed it is. So I hope that my journey has been something that you will see actual benefit for. Thank you for being with me throughout some of you have been with me for years and years and years through our different products. So thank you so much for supporting what we do. Next slide. And so, as you know, as I mentioned before, Fluid Ministry is, just keep clicking, is the company. And we are going to be focused on something moving forward. We want to consolidate the different products that we have. They are almost separate subscriptions, separate services. Some of it don't talk to each other. One of the vision God has given me is to simplify everything. It would take some time, but we have actually already started that process. So today you can let me know, could you let me know which product that you're most interested in hearing about, I'm going to quickly go through all of them because I'm going to have a special offer for you, 50% off. As I said, I have Ellie on the call. I don't hear her now. We have a slight technical challenge, but Ellie, you can say hello to everyone. I think you can hear her, Ellie.
Hi
Ellie?
everyone. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm just
Excellent.
happy to be here.
So are you hearing Ellie? I'm not hearing her. I think there's a mic challenge, but welcome, Ellie. And Ellie has worked with me for 2 years ago. She's the daughter of Ann Heath, for those who know her, and have done wonderful, wonderful work with me. And I'm excited to continue to work with her. I think it's a new, good. So Matt heard Ellie. You guys are interested in Confirmed.Church, Display.Church. So Rick is using both Display.Church and ChurchBee. All right, next slide. And so let's actually dive right in. As I mentioned, there's a special offer I'm going to talk about. Next slide. And so Display.Church, we're going to go quickly through. It might be a good opportunity for you to kind of learn about some of the other products as the offer that we have. So Display.Church works with PushPay CCB, Planning Center, Google, as well as Breeze. And one of the things we're going to kind of talk through is just a quick updates. We're going to go through quick because we have more articles online that kind of walk you through this. So let me go ahead and actually share my screen. Let me switch entire screen over here. All right. So first we're going to talk about the filter groups by tags. This was actually something that we had talked about before. So if you're using Planning Center specifically, so Display.Church, actually I should have explained what it is, right? It's a application that display your widgets, your groups, calendar, sign-up forms nicely. But we go way beyond that because we focus on conversion. There's a lot of cool things that people do online, is like set it up and they kind of forget about it, which we do. We allow you to set it and forget it. But we optimize a lot. We are specialized in displaying your events in groups. So we look at how, not that it shows online, but how do you decrease the noise? Because you can display all the events online, but are you filtering them and targeting them? Let me actually just show you a quick example of what I'm talking about. Road Church. I should have had this loaded up. All right, I'll kind of pull that up really quickly. So this is actually one of the examples that one of our clients did a number of years ago that many churches kind of follow. So you can see on their screen here that they have our widgets embed, and these are multiple widgets, so you can actually embed multiple widgets. But you see what they do, they use our advanced filtering. Because just imagine you have a calendar with everything all at once. There's no way that you can figure out what is for adults, what is for youth. And then when you click on it, you have a very, very nice landing page. And this is actually the simplified version. We can pull in your Google Places. You can show videos in here as well that can play. You can have call to actions and stuff like that. So this is what Display.Church is in essence. And what we have done recently is that we have added the options for those who are using Planning Center. And I'll definitely get to all of the apps. So just bear with me. We have used Planning Center. If you're using Planning Center, we now have the option for you to filter by group tags. So if you look over here and you go under filtering, you can add a filter. There's now group tags. Now this is very powerful. Actually, this is for groups specifically. So if you have a group setup, so let's quickly set one of these up. Group. We're going to use the Planning Center integration, create. All right, so if you go over here, now we have tag groups. So one of the questions that somebody had asked us is, could I filter? I wanted to set up groups for male and groups for female. All right. And because of that, you can label your groups in Planning Center. So this was actually the question that somebody asked about. Looking to add another filter on top of my Google Groups cards for, that's their name of their group. On Church Center, I've added a tag for gender with options for men, women, and anyone. So that's something that we now offer. So if you have that set up that way, you can have it for by gender or whatever tags you have. That's really exciting. So for those who are using Planning Center and those who are using Display.Church, again, we want to make your events easy for your users to access, not just pretty. The other thing that we have done, and we mentioned it before, if you're using Display.Church, you can now set up multiple integrations of the same type. All right. So, for example, if I have one Google Calendar set up, I can go back again and set up a second and a third and a fourth, depending on what your plan allows. Okay. So that's something really cool. So if you're at a church using two different planning center accounts and you want to be able to bring that in, you can definitely do that. So when you go over here and you scroll down to the options, you now see that you have a list of integrations and they can be repeated. Okay, so that's kind of like a past kind of features we mentioned. So the new features that I want to dive into, and you can see I'm going pretty quick, but it's just a highlight. If you have any questions, you can definitely follow up. We have articles on our update page that matches each one of those, so you can kind of learn more. This widget performance overview, it's something that we have quietly released over the last few months. Some of you guys would have been able to see it. Not only do we give you these embeddable widgets, but you can now start to know how they are being viewed, how many times they're being accessed. This is a precursor to some cool things that is coming. Now, it only covers the last 7 days. Eventually, there'll be a report session where you can do advanced search for, let's say, at least for 30 days to figure out which one of these particular widgets. So right now, it does it by group, but eventually you should be able to go to a specific widget and see how well they are being engaged with. We're really excited about this. As we shared with you, we are going beyond just embedding something pretty that nobody uses, but giving you the data for that to be used. Okay. So that's something really excited about, and we are going to keep continuing to work on that. If you have any questions, just go ahead and post it in. So Andrea is saying Display.Church, but new and have not actively been using it. So hopefully I can give you. Kyle, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. All right. So the other thing, and if you have any questions, post it in, and definitely I can talk about those. There's something exciting that is coming, right? We are still in Display.Church. We are going to have we actually already launched a new custom domain name. So if you go over to install and you look at this URL over here, you would notice that it says displayhost.com. Now, this is the first phase where we're trying to make your hosted link, because right now, we can host the events for you. You do not have to embed it on your website. For calendars, we give you a link where you can host that on your website. Did it not work? I need to double check that. So it gives you a nice hosted version. So with that, we have made the domain name generic or more neutral so that we can work with different organizations. But what is actually coming is custom domain names, right? This is going to help with SEO. This is going to help with improved performance. So you would be able to customize your domain name, whether you do something like widgets.aberrowchurch.com or gracechurch.com, or you basically have a separate domain name. So that's something we are planning on, and I think it'll really help. Anyone here using the Google integration? There's something that we have done. Let me know if you're using the Google integration. We have actually switched this local church to use Google. And the reason why is that they are not invested. First of all, it's one thing to actually, invest in a software in terms of it financially. That's one thing. The other thing is to actually invest in it in terms of workflow. So Planning Center is a software that I had recommended for this specific church, and all of the management systems are really great. There's different needs in different church, but they weren't willing and able and did not have the staff to actually implement. They don't have a paid staff. So the only paid staffs are the pastors, and there's everybody else is a volunteer. This has worked really, really well. So if you are thinking about, or if you are maybe looking at another product and you use Google Calendars already, I think this is a really good option. This here is set it and forget it. So the secretary at the office can basically add an image to Google Calendar directly, and we pull in Google Places as I showed you. And then once they do Google, we sync that over, and they don't ever have to learn another software. So I think this have worked really, really well for this particular church. So with Google, however, what I wanted to show you is that Google is filtered by hashtags. Because Google is not as advanced as Planning Center and PushPay and Breeze, it doesn't have tags in there. But if you're using Google, you can actually put in a tag, and we can filter by that. So in this case, this tag is called pantry. Just a plain text inside of the Google description. And then when you go over here, you can then go into calendars. Let me just open up this one here. And if I wanted to, I can then, it will then show me all of the tags. So this is a tag. All of the hashtags written in plain text in the Google Calendar events. Again, just a plain regular calendar. Now we have added a quick option for you to style that. You see the word pantry? You can put that word pantry as listed tags on the card of the events. I think it's pretty cool to bring that out. So if you have different tags, you can also exclude. The way you do that is under design, events, you go show tags, and then you can customize the color. You can change a bunch of things. You can even exclude certain words. If you have too many tags, you can say omit these particular tags. So something really cool for those who use Google. If you are not using Display.Church and you want to consider some of these options, I highly recommend giving it a try, because it goes beyond how pretty it looks, but lead into conversion. Now we go into the big three. This is the final list on the Display.Church, and we're going to move on. How many of you guys are using the MailChimp email widget in Display.Church? This is kind of going from just displaying your events to actually having it save you time and connect with people. Anyone here is using the Google Mail Merge feature? What that is you go to a particular calendar, and you can use an existing calendar in Display.Church, and then you go to install, and then you hit MailChimp, and now you will be able to have these templates that you can actually use. Sneak peek, or at least I can just say it right now. We just added a new simplified list template. I really like this one because it's simplified and it can work really nicely with your calendar. You can edit the title, the colors of the title, as well as you can add or remove information. So if it's too much, I can remove some of the data over there. Okay, I think I can turn this off. I can turn off location as well. So I think this is fairly new. I did see something may not be working quite as nicely. Now, once you're finished, you can go ahead and grab the HTML code, and then you can go across to MailChimp. And once you put that code in, you can actually put that code in and set it and forget it. So we choosing the evergreen option. So what does that mean? That means that every time I do my calendar, I would always have that code would always work. So this is an example over here. If I click on edit design, you would see that this is the actual MailChimp version of the code. This is the plain HTML. So the plain HTML would work. If you're not using MailChimp, the plain HTML would work for you. It's experimental, so you can copy the HTML version. The only difference with the HTML version is that this is static. Yes, so Kyle's saying he loves the evergreen option. He also says he's still using the PCO MailChimp embed. Good. So we have a user who is, yes, Kyle and I had done a mini webinar for a number of years. So Kyle, we actually fixed some things for you, which I'll briefly talk about. So let's go back to MailChimp to see how that looks like. You'd have to click on preview. And once you click on preview, you're going to see that you have the image, you have the title, and all of these things will be turned on and off and be colored. And you can do read more. You can send yourself an email with this, and it will show up very nicely in your email inbox. So as we move on, the other thing that you're beginning to see is that we have something called add to calendar. Now, this is what I'm most excited about, not only do we have the widget, we have the add to calendar feature. So let's actually just talk quickly about that. Now, what is the add to calendar feature? The add to calendar feature is exactly what it means. Just imagine that you are sending tons of events every week, but people are not taking action. It looks pretty, they look at it, but they don't do anything with it. The add to calendar option now allows you to click on add to calendar, and it opens that particular event where they can subscribe to it. Wouldn't that not be great? That people are not only looking at events, maybe they're not interested in the first three, but they're interested in this particular event. All right, this is actually a Jewish organization that I'm working with, and this is their code. So that's why you're seeing those those things. But yeah, this would allow you to then click on Google or whatever app that you use, and then you can add that to your event, and it shows up right there in your calendar. Isn't that something that is really cool? I think it's really good. It goes from just showing the events to actually adding it there. All right, what do you guys think about that feature? And the second part is that for Google Calendar, let's go back there. We have fixed an issue, Kyle, that we had talked about a number of years before, actually it's going to be a year or so before. When you go into MailChimp, we used to only offer you the option to limited by calendar defaults. So no, not that. Sorry, only limited by the next 31 days. This is limited. So if you have tons of events in, let's say, 1 month, it doesn't allow you to span across multiple months. We have included the option to limit it by the next 31 events. So this can actually span across multiple months, maybe up to 2 years. So if you have a filtered calendar with featured events and you want to show what's coming in March, April, May, June, July, August, you choose this option, and it would not limit you within that in terms of days, but you can go across multiple events. So I think this is a really cool thing for those who are using this for the email calendar, so you can show more. And finally, as I shared with you, we had the simple list option, which is similar. It's brand new. This is similar to all the others, but it's just a simplified list. And this list looks something like this. Very easy, clean on the eyes. You can hide and remove the location and things of that nature. I think this is a very good option for many of you who may not want either the side-by-side version or the stack version. And what do we mean by stack version? This is the stack version, which is the images at the top and the message below. I think the simplified list is a really, really cool option. Yeah, Kyle, definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. Kyle is saying that he really loves the feature. Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Kyle. All right. So that is Display.Church and all the new features. And we're going to show you how this integrates with our new product called ChurchBee. For those who are using ChurchBee product, and we'll definitely get to Confirm very much soon. And again, we plan to really have these products talk to each other. There's something cool that I plan to do with Confirmed.church events, notification, and everything like that. That's upcoming in another update. All right, so let's go to the next page here. So as I mentioned, with Display.Church, you have your events. You already have it set up. You spend the time in your Google or Planning Center or PushPay CCB to set it. You can copy the code, send it out via email without manually manipulating the data. Every time you send the data, it will pull in the latest. One of the things that we are working on right now as we transition to using Display.Church in other products is this experimental code called Copy HTML, and it's experimental. This here is actually a static only option. The way it works right now. So if you wanted to grab this code, you can do so and embed it into any other newsletter system. So not just MailChimp. So this is actually our ChurchBee plugin, and we will explain that for a bit. And it's a visual builder that currently only works with PushPay CCB. We plan to explore on this working with other apps in the future. All right. This is the experimental version. Let's go ahead and... This is the development version. Let me go ahead and switch it quick. So what that will do is it will allow you to... Let's go to ChurchBee. We do have a new website, and it's a browser extension that adds like a clippy, like a helper to your app. So you can just go ahead and click on Get ChurchBee. It's going to link to the Chrome store, and then you would be able to use it that way. Let's go ahead and let's remove this one for now. Go ahead and log in. Okay, let's do this really quickly. Sorry about that. And does anybody have any questions for me in the meantime? All right, so this is the visual builder. So now that I have gone into Display.Church, I can go ahead and copy that code, which I already did. And then I can go over here. It could work for MailChimp. You already saw the version in MailChimp over here. This is that code here. So if I close this, this part here is that simple HTML. So it'll work with MailChimp, any builder that allows you to do an HTML. But we're looking at ChurchBee right now. And you can paste that in. And now you have that particular embed there. So really cool. You can now grab the codes from Display.Church and use it within ChurchBee or any other newsletter system you have. The only disadvantage with this is that this HTML version is static, but it's quick to just grab the codes each week and paste it in, and then you can continue to do more information there. Ellie, I'll ask you to get ready to demo ChurchBee, walk through there. So if you can kind of prepare your screen for that as well. All right, any questions there? Let's quickly go on. So that's the integration there that we are making between Display.Church and ChurchBee. Now for our new product, as mentioned, ChurchBee allows you to almost have a fixed price. You know, with MailChimp, which is a great product and works for many of you guys. For those who want something that offers a fixed price, it doesn't increase with the number of users. We built ChurchBee to work as a visual email builder that works within your current applications. And because you're sending the emails out through your application, like PushPay, it would preserve the message so you don't have disconnected data. And then later on, when people continue to improve on AI search and data, you have all that rich data within the application that you have invested in for your church. As we mentioned, it currently works with PushPay, but we hope to add that if it's possible through the other applications. So this is a quick, we have done a lot for those who are using ChurchBee. We have done a lot of optimization. One of the things you have just seen is a visual builder. So this is what is going to actually happen next. If I click on open and search, it's going to allow me to log into this particular app, and then it will automatically insert that for me. I can give it a name. There's a little helper thing that follows me. I can give it a title. I can give it a subject, and I can see what I'm editing. Click on next. And I think I'll just do it early. I can click on either the individuals or the group. And then I can go ahead and either schedule it or I can send it now. So you can see it's being built within the current application, and it lets me know that it's being scheduled. And then once that is sent, I could send now. I can then be able to not only get that email, which should come in a bit, I can check the campaign's data to see, after 48 hours, to see how many people have opened it. We plan to add more click-through data. So one thing PushPay doesn't offer when you send messages through their system, they don't show you how many people have actually opened or clicked through your email. So that's one of the things we do. We do have a bunch of cool starter templates that you can use as a base to optimize as to send your message. So that's in essence is what ChurchBee is. It's actually the beginning of what ChurchBee is. There's so much more we planned going into in the coming quarters. But for those who are using PushPay CCB, this is something that you might be interested in using. Is there any questions you guys have for me there? Excellent, excellent. All right. So we have covered Display.Church. We have talked about what is Display.Church, working with calendars, groups. There's a sign up alert bar as well. And I work with Planning Center registration. We have talked about ChurchBee, which currently primarily works with PushPay, but we are exploring other integrations as well so that you can send the emails unlimited through your existing platforms and have that data inside of your application and not separate. That I think it's more valuable as programs continue to add AI pieces so that you have rich data about your people and we have it as a fixed price so it doesn't scale as the more you send because you already pay for your application. Now we are going on to CCBChimp very quickly and then confirm. For those who already got what they want from this application, this webinar, because maybe you're using Display.Church and ChurchBee, and maybe you need to run what we have to offer. And I would like to just quickly mention that, and we'll mention it again, is a bundle. The bundle actually takes the three services, the one that I haven't spoken about, CCBChimp and ChurchBee and Display.Church, and bundle it and you get 50% off. We take the highest version of those plans and you can get 50% off. We highly recommend that you guys check it out. Even if, let's say if you have Display.Church and you want to explore ChurchBee, right? I think it's a no-brainer. We also prorate your amount. So if you already paid us, if you're a current user or a new user, you would be able to benefit from up to 50% off when you combine all three. So practically, some of these software will be free included for you. So go to fmbundle.com if you're interested in that bundle and if you're interested in checking out those options as well. All right, so that kind of concludes the Display.Church and ChurchBee. For those who are not familiar, we also have CCBChimp, which is a application that integrates PushPay CCB with Mailchimp. And for those, how many of you guys using CCBChimp still? One of the things we offer right now is, it's really huge and it's a very short, I'll probably take 1 minute to preview this, is the custom forms. This has been a request for a number of years where you can be able to used to only have the default PushPay field mappings, meaning we can pull in name, email, address, and all of those good things. And you can then sync that over to MailChimp to use those data to send out personalized emails. All right, so we had all of this information. Now we have added, and it's still in beta, we have added additional options that allows you to send and pull in your custom fields that comes from, if it's coming from and is available during the API, we can definitely show it to you. And then you can pull that data over to MailChimp and use that merge field to send out newsletters. So maybe you want to do something, the data from the search secure or alert or MSD background, etc., campus, so all of these are the live stages. You want to probably use some of these and map it. So you pick what you want to use. You can pick the same name. And then once that is saved, that is mapped over to MailChimp. And then you can go into MailChimp and use that as a merge field. All right. So for those who are using PushPay CCB and MailChimp through CCB integration, and you want to increase the data available in your campaigns, this new feature is something for you. All right, and that concludes CCB. And the final product is Confirmed.church. This covers Planning Center users. So Planning Center users, the Confirmed.church is a text message that does two things. It allows you to send requests for people to reserve for the Planning Center services when you add your volunteers and you get your staff. Planning Center sends out a message via the mobile app or an email for them to reserve or to RSVP. If they don't RSVP, only if they don't RSVP, Confirm allows you to send out a text message to remind them to do so. So only if they don't do that. And the other thing it does, it also allows you to send reminder follow-ups. So after they confirm whether they do it through the text, mobile app, or website, you can actually also still do that option as well. And you then will be able to see how many people have confirmed based on a particular service. So that's what Confirmed.church does. If you're using Confirmed.church, you need to finish a 10 DLC registration because your text messages isn't going out. as mentioned over the last 6 months. We have been warning you about that, but that's a quick thing that you can complete. And one of the quick reminders is that for those who are using this, we have the option for you to pick which particular services gets those text messages so you don't use it all. What we plan to add is the ability to limit this by teams, as well as add multiple schedule templates. It has been on the list for a while, but that's coming. But this is what we have now. I think it's a good option. And as I mentioned, there's two options we can do. We can send a reminder, confirmation reminder. Hey, do you want to accept or decline? Here's your schedule coming up. Do you want to accept or decline? And then you can also send confirmation. Am I sharing my screen? I was sharing my screen. Maybe you guys not seeing it. Let me share again. Share screen, entire screen. It looked like it was stuck on my end. Okay, maybe you guys was not seeing my screen. Did you guys? Yes, it's being recorded. Martin, definitely being recorded. You can definitely share it with your team. Were you guys able to see the CCBChimp demo that I showed? It looked like the screen was frozen, or was it stuck on the presentation? Could you guys let me know? Anyway, so this is the Confirmed Church. As I said, you can do two things. You can turn off the accept or decline, or you can even turn off the reminder follow-ups. Or you can keep both of them on. And what this does is you can send them, hey, you have to serve at the station in 2 minutes, in 2 weeks, in 1 day. So really, really cool stuff. Oh, no, sorry. This is the one with the reminder follow-ups. All right, so you can do it 1 minute. Hey, you need to come here to serve. And you actually have the option to edit the templates as well. So if you want to customize these templates and make it more personalized, for example, let's say, hi, first name, you have been placed on the schedule for this service, for this team, and this position, on this date. Please accept or decline. So you can do it that way. And these will be the reminder follow-ups. You can kind of customize those. Hey, first name, you're scheduled for this to serve on this date. And, it can remind them that way. So that's Confirmed.church. So we have actually reached the end of the webinar. I would hold on for a bit. So if you have any specific questions you wanted to talk to me about in terms of a specific app, you can let me know and I can answer those. But just a reminder, please consider checking out our bundle, fmbundle.com, and it has allowing you to save up to 50%. And so it's a really good way to combine and save. So is there any questions? Do you guys have any questions for me? No questions at all? Okay, well, thank you for your time. Yes, it's being recorded. I appreciate it. Hopefully that I'll continue to pray for you as you plan through this Easter event. Thank you for partnering with me, and I hope to continue to develop solutions that benefits you, but in a balanced way, focused on my relationship with God and knowing that whatever I do should be His will, and it will be not only a blessing to me and my family, but to you. So thank you for partnering with me, and thank you for your time today. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.